This clip is brought to you by BattleOnline.com.
Well, like I say, I'm born and raised in Compton, California. This is the concrete jungle, of Southern California. Either you was gonna be the guy getting chased home every day, or you was gonna be the guy chasing people home every day. I chose to be on the other fence, chasing people home. So I was part of a gang, I was part of the streets, I was, 10 toes deep in it, and with it,
Who would you say was, your inspirations then, that your sort of main go-tos that you was listening to, that you took influence from?
Back in them days, the West Coast was basically, we had hip hop, but our hip hop was basically funk records like Roger Troutman and Zapp, George Clinton, Parliament, Rick James, Confunction and Cameo. We was listening to a lot of that. Double Dutch Bus. If it was about hip hop or getting your hands on a dirty record, it was about Blowfly, Rap Dirty, or stuff of that nature. Other than that, it was kind of clown. It was Bobby Jimmy and the Critters and all of that. But what made us really want to do it was when we seen the likes of Ice-T and Tidy T and Mixmaster Spade. And of course NWA. But before that, we was listening to a lot of funk records, and we was listening to a lot of East Coast hip hop. We was on our EPMD, KRS-One, LL Cool J. Just like everybody else. But what made us actually want to do it was cats like King T, Tidy T, Mixmaster Spade. And of course, once a dude that used to be across the street from my house, NWA, MC Ren, once he did it, it was like, oh, I got to find my way in. We got to figure this out. Thankfully, he used to be across the street from my pad, And, just like I explained, he hooked us up with Lonzo and we was able to get in, But inspired by a lot of East Coast driven music, hip hop, Run DMC, EPMD, all of that type of stuff. But our culture was, funk music. That was gangster shit. Parliament, Cameo, Barcades, all of that. We used to party to that. We was partying to that on this end.
Yeah, I was playing some of that Barcades the other day, man. Freak show on the dance floor.
Yeah, that's what we was partying. We go to parties,
Yeah.
I think my first house party I ever went to, we was listening to Genius of Love. What you gonna do when you get out of jail? And the whole house was just rocking. That's my first, that's when I jumped off the porch. That's when I'm like, okay, moms, I'm finna go to a party, and she actually let me. That was Genius of Love, Tom Club. And, as I got older, I was like, dang, the Tom Club is white folks. Like, I didn't know that. But it didn't matter in them days. It was our culture. If it was funky and it had that gangbang swag to it, we was on it. We was on it.
Well, it's crazy because the visual representation that I guess some of us saw as outlookers on the West Coast, especially from like the 80s going forward, seeing a lot of that party and that funk atmosphere. It looked very fun. It looked very vibrant and stuff like that, but people would also come to realize that there was a darker aspect with a lot of the stuff going on in the streets. So, what was it like growing up in the place, I should say, with that sort of climate where I guess everybody looks at it and thinks, Hollywood and thinks everywhere out there is all, sunshine and glitz and glamour and stuff, but at the same time having to deal with harsh street realities and stuff.
Yeah, those tunes, those songs, that funk music, that gangbang music that we used to listen to was part of that's our culture, as well as the culture based on the West Coast is based on gangbang. All this music that you hear coming from the West Coast is coming from gangbanging. That's our streets. In Compton. South Central, Long Beach, Watts. Other cities as well. Carson, Linwood. It was tough. It's crazy because I was just talking to this with JD and Corrupt. I got a big ass map on the other side of my wall, on the other side of the studio, and it got every hood in Southern California. And where we grew up at, South Central, Compton, it's just colors right there, just a whole big ass thing of colors right there. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is where we live. This is where we survived. You know what I mean? Like, look at us now. We made it. We all buckshot it out, living in Vegas, living here, traveling there, here, there. You know what I mean? But we made it out of this. You know what I mean? And what the culture was basically like was that music was the soundtrack to low riding, drive-by shootings, dope dealing, you know, the crooked females, the dirty cops, you know what I mean? All of that. You know what I mean? That music was the soundtrack to that. You know what I mean? When you thinking of, you know, Tina Marie or, you know, Natalie Cole or Aretha Franklin or something like that. We use those tunes different than other people used it. This was really a way of life for us. You know what I mean? When George Clinton was throwing up the funk sign, we like, okay, we got signs. You know what I mean? This is the funk's, okay, this is our sign, the Crip sign. You know what I mean? You know, all that music was the soundtrack to our culture in the streets. You know what I mean?
Peace, family. Welcome to BoutTheOnline.com, your one-stop shop for the highest hip-hop edutainment. Bringing you the dopest no-limit interviews, hip-hop legends, reviews, views, news, and more. So if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be updated on new drops and content.
Me and Ice Cube, we were in school. You know, one of his favorite artists was Ice-T. So he was stuck on Ice-T, man. And one day he came out of his 9th grade class. He wrote this rap, and the shit was hard. I'm like, damn, you wrote that? He's like, yeah, I just wrote that. And he was like, man, we should start a group. And back then, you know, I wasn't a rapper at that time, so you know, I wasn't really that cool with writing rhymes, you know. So it was me, Cube, and Sir Jinx, which was Dr. Dre's cousin. You know, Jinx had some little DJ equipment, so we started our group. And back then, Cube used to write our rhymes, you know. So me and Jinx, we didn't know how to write. You know, we wasn't that swift with the rhymes. You know, we would write some, but they wasn't as good as Cube's. So we kept doing it, man. Joined a couple of rap contests, man. We, you know, we almost won one of them. We came in 2nd place. Like I said, Jinx was Dr. Dre's cousin, so we got to, you know, hang out with them a lot. So we got, you know, got a little more insight on the business to see what it was like, and we got a little more hungry for it. Next thing you know, we start performing up at Doodles, which was a place that the Wrecking Crew used to DJ at on the weekends. So we started performing up there, man.
Peace, family. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check us out on BoutTheOnline.com. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook for exclusive playlists and social media for all different types of segments and content.